Are you looking to improve the sound of your GR86 or BRZ? In today's video, I will show you how. This is what's included in the box. Of course, your two patented 180-degree technology for drone, the two mufflers, the center section, which is right here. Then the other part of the, well, this is the center section, I believe, that goes over the rear axle or by the rear axle. Then this section here is in the center up by the catalytic converter. It's got the resonator in it. Let's see what's in the box here now. Ooh, looks like they give you some candy. You get a Charms Blow Pop. Ooh, looks like I got a good flavor. I got grape here. These are the two nice big 5-inch tips here. I'm not going to take them out right now. We'll show you later in the video. This is all your clamp hardware and your little installation booklet and your stickers here. For this install, you will need a jack and jack stands or a lift if you're lucky enough. You will also need the following tools: an impact wrench if you have one, a ratchet, 3/8 ratchet, two different extensions or some extensions. You will need the included Allen key or hex key wrench they give you. You will need an 11mm, a 14mm, a 16mm deep dish, a 12mm wrench, a 14mm wrench, and a exhaust hanger tool. We will start at the front of the car, of course. You will need your 12mm box end wrench. On the front and on the back, you will use your 14mm deep dish. Of course, probably it'd work better if I had an extension on it. You will save these, as I believe you are reusing these. Then you will work your way all the way down the exhaust past the factory resonator. You will need a 14mm for the back side, a 14mm for the front here. So now the only thing holding this middle of the car pipe with the resonator is the rubber hanger. Looks like only one, so this will drop when you do it. And you will need your special tool to get this out. You can maybe finagle it if you don't have it. Just log on to Amazon or go to your local parts store. They're less than 20 bucks. Kind of common sense how these work. The little U here goes in the rail here, up in, the pusher goes on the nipple. Basically, you're pushing the rubbers out. Maybe I should have had a jack underneath it. Just have your hand underneath it ready to go. There will be 4 rubber hangers here, 2 on each corner of this heavy OEM muffler. I'm going to put a jack underneath it. Now you will gently remove the rear exhaust with your jack. For installing, it will be the reverse of the uninstall steps I showed you. You will need a jack, a bottle jack, or some kind of smaller jack to hold the exhaust up if you do not have a partner helping you, a second set of hands. It does want to come down a little bit, so I recommend jacking it up ever so gently, not to bend anything, just to hold up the rear after you've started. And you can hold this up with your legs in the air if you're doing this on the ground, and then start those. Get it to come back here. When it comes back here, again towards the back axle, you will need another to move your jack down. You'll slip, of course, this piece right here around the back axle slips into the front, the middle section. So when you slip that on, you're going to want to already have had your hose clamp around this rounded portion. And then you're going to want to get it pretty tight in here to the chassis. Not sure if you can see how tight I've got it, but you don't want to get it too tight because you want a little bit if there's a flex so it don't hit and make noise. But this is the lowest part of the car on these 86 chassis. If you start lowering your car too low, you could start rubbing this. And then you'll do the same thing here on the muffler side. You'll have to jack the mufflers into place with a jack. You could use your floor jack to jack these up. You'll want to slip this part right here over this, because this is what slides into this. The muffler slides into the pipe, so you'll want to have this already on when you slide this on. You could have this on either end, I guess, making sure you're sliding it up. And then these are where the hard part is. Getting these back on is not very easy, I should say, getting these rubber hangers back on. And you want to make sure that you're the same distance here on this side as you are that. You can just eyeball it. You don't have to be super anal. And then over here, the same thing on the front hangers. And if you're doing the Turing exhaust like I'm doing, they're saying to put their clamps on here, you know, the front or the most rear hangers of the car. Tighten those down once you got this where you want it and aligned on both sides. You'll tighten those down to hold the exhaust on. After that, I would loosely tighten these just enough to where they're starting to snug down on the exhaust outlets for both sides. One thing I almost forgot to tell you was for these exhaust hangers, muscle them down as tight as you can. Don't be afraid of them. Get them pretty damn tight or you'll have a leak, exhaust leak. I put them up as far as I could to the almost edge, to where they line up with the edge of the pipe, that they're the over pipe that slips over. Just muscle them down. And again, the hangers are really hard to get on, so you'll have to muscle that in too and use your jack to hold it up. And then you will need to come around here and adjust your tips. Of course, this is, however, what you like. You know, you could have it flush with the bumper. You could have it sticking out a little bit like I did. I like them sticking out a little bit. So you'll just need to check your distances here and here to what you like. I recommend putting it down just a hair, kind of like I did here, because if you get it too close, I think it might melt your bumper. Not sure, with these double walls it might not, but then you might get a noise whenever you hit a big bump and it moves up or down. Now these bolts that tighten this part down are 11 millimeters, and you got to watch or you'll snap them off. They don't take a lot, but they do need to be tight. So you just have to, they give you extras in case you break it. This side is tight enough. This side, I just noticed I've not got it tight enough. I think it's loose here and the head is moving, or I thought it was. Before you take the car down, you will want to have somebody start the car. Get underneath the car, put your hand real close to the exhaust, feeling for any exhaust leaks. If you have a leak, that means you didn't tighten them tight enough or it's not lined up right. Then you will need to shut the car off as soon as possible so the exhaust doesn't get hot, of course, common sense, and reevaluate your issue. But you should have it right the first time if you lined everything up right and tightened them down, muscled them on. And once you've got everything aligned like you like it, I will recommend before you start the car, you go with a good, cheap glass cleaner, some Windex, something you got given to you at a car show maybe, like this. Go in there, spray the pipes down, wipe them, because any oils you've got on your fingers will now make a fingerprint or a mark on the exhaust. And this will conclude the install portion of the video. In next week's video, I will have a cold start, a outside portion of a before and afters of both driving outside footage, inside impression. I would like to ask you to please like and subscribe, and do watch the end because there is a teaser of the cold start portion.